just another stitch. For those that don't know me, my name is Connie, and today is Knitting Friday. Now, Frank isn't going to be with us today. He's still in his pajamas. That's one of the perks from being able to work from home. Now, the first thing I want to talk to y'all today about is the progress on my temperature blanket. I am fixing to start December 30th, so I have 2 more days, and then I have 10 rows of a bottom border that I'm doing, and then I have to weave in the loose yarns for about the last month and a half, and then I'm going to wash it and dry it, and then I will start working on a video for y'all. I can't wait to share it with y'all. One thing that I failed to mention to y'all in last week's video when I was showing you my circular interchangeable kneaders, you have a piece that looks like this. It's basically just a straight bore, and it's a connector piece where you can connect your cords. And I'm going to show you how this works. Where, say you need a larger cord for a project, this is all you have to do. You put your little screwdriver thingy in the hole, and you just screw that little metal piece on. Make sure it's tight. Then you take another cord, you stick the little screwdriver thing in it, and you screw it to the other side. Oops. Okay. And now you have a longer cord to work with. With knitting, you have 2 main stitches that you use. You have the knit stitch and the purl stitch. And these are the main 2 stitches that you will see in patterns. There are other stitches that you will use. And usually whenever I come across a stitch that I'm not familiar with, I just search for a video on YouTube that shows a tutorial on how to do that stitch. That's how I've learned. Now, with knitting, you have what's called the garter stitch. And some patterns will just say garter stitch. And what that is you do knits on the front side, the right side of your work, and also on the back side. When you turn your work, you'll also be knitting. So you're just doing all knits. And that is what's called the garter stitch. Then you have the stockinette stitch. And with the stockinette stitch, you will knit on the right side of your work, and on the back side you will do purls. And another thing too, when it comes to stockinette stitch, when you're doing all knit stitches, be careful with that whenever it comes to the start or the end of your work and your edges, because stockinette stitching will curl on you. Where that's where typically in patterns, you'll see that the first rows will start off in garter stitch and the last rows are usually garter stitch. And you might have like the first 5 or 10 stitches of a row in garter stitch. That's so you won't have the curling. Now I want to talk to y'all about a really fun thing to make. And I really enjoyed making these. And it's something that I had gotten on a kick on. I don't know. I always get on kicks when I make stuff. And I'm gonna show you what I made. There's 2 other scrunchies that I've made that I wasn't able to locate. They weren't with the rest of my scrunchies. And I looked and looked what I did with them. I don't know. But I do have a bad habit of doing some strange things, where there was one time I had gotten some mushrooms and I used them once and I knew I still had some left and I could not find them. I'm looking in the refrigerator, looking, couldn't find them. Probably about a week later, I was doing something in the freezer. Guess what I found? The mushrooms. How it got there? I don't know. I think I was grabbing stuff from the freezer and the refrigerator and putting stuff back. And I just didn't realize I put the wrong thing in the freezer. But yeah, I put mushrooms in the freezer. And with these patterns that I use, there's one pattern which I use for the solid color scrunchies. And you take hair bands. And these are some hair bands I have. And I find you want one that has a good tension where it's not as easy to pull. Because I had actually tried using some that I had gotten from Dollar Tree that stretch more. Big mistake. The elastic in them stretched out while I was knitting the scrunchie. And I find usually over time, the ones that I get from Dollar Tree, the elastic stretches out just from everyday use, where these don't. And when you're knitting the scrunchie, you're knitting it into this hairband. And you're going to get a lot of tension when you're doing it. It's going to hurt your hands. So I find that this method is kind of more uncomfortable, but it does work up a lot quicker. Then you also have another method, and I use this whenever I'm using different colors, where I've only done different colors where I do horizontal rows. I still want to learn how to do vertical, and I haven't been able to find any patterns that really show me how to do it vertically. And if anybody knows how I would be able to go about that, or a pattern, please let me know. Please share it with me. All my contact information is in the description box below, because I've really been wanting to make scrunchies like that. But it's a different pattern that I use whenever it comes to doing the different colors. And this one, you're not knitting into the hairband. You make like a rectangular piece, and then you seam in the ends over the headband when you're finished. It's more time consuming to make, but it's friendlier on the hands. And that's how you can do the color work with it. And this is one that I made in black and gold. And I made this to represent the New Orleans Saints. I'm from Louisiana, so it's a big thing here. And I did one in purple and gold, and it's probably looking blue on the camera from what I'm seeing, but it's actually purple. And this is for LSU colors, Louisiana State University. And this is one that I did in mint green, black, and white. And that's a color combination that I love. I'm seeing a shawl in these colors in the future. And this is one that I did in an aqua color, a hot pink, and a chocolate brown. And this is another color combination that I love. And I really like chocolate brown, because certain colors, I love how they look with it. And I tend to do a lot with chocolate brown. And I also had one that I did in watermelon colors, the pink and green, which I am going to post a picture of that in the video so y'all can see that one. And these are the solid colored ones that I made. This one is red. And it's the Red Heart Metallics yarn that I use. And it has the sparkles in it. And if y'all don't already know, I love me some sparkles. And I also have one that I did in the brown metallic yarn. And the other one that I don't have with me, it's one like this, but it's in the black metallic yarn. And then this one is one that I made that matches the heart shawl that I showed y'all. But those are the scrunchies that I made. And you can also make scrunchies in crochet. I haven't done it yet, but it is something that I do eventually want to attempt. I don't know if they're easier doing it knitted or crochet, but that's something I do want to make. And also, you may notice my hat that I'm wearing today. This is a CC Beanie hat. And I think when I made this hat, I did some adjustments on the pattern. It may have been because it called for a thicker yarn than what I used. And for what I remember, I doubled things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to link a couple of the CC Style Beanies in the description box below in case you want to make one of this style. And as you notice, I have a palm on it. It's one of the fox fur ones. And this hat I actually made for Frank, but I stole it from him. I love doing that to him. The thing was that whenever he would wear it, he would never have it on his head right. And I would adjust it for him, but then if he took it off and put it back on, he just had it all over the place. So I was like, I really like that hat. It's mine now. So when I made it for him, it didn't have the palm. He don't like palms. So I added the palm to it. But I've been having a growing interest lately in make-alongs. And a lot of people have been doing them lately. And it's something that I do eventually want to try. Currently, I have a lot of projects planned. So I just don't really know how to fit one in. And I'm hoping maybe next year, maybe even sooner, that I can finally start to do a knit along or a crochet along. And Gina from Knitting Turnpike, she gives out a lot of information when it comes to knit alongs. And I highly recommend that you check out her channel. She has a really awesome channel. She does some beautiful stitching. I love seeing her projects. She's currently working on this gorgeous shawl. And she's somebody that I've become friends with lately. And I really enjoy talking to her. So please help support her channel. Check her out. I'm including the link for her channel in the description box below. So in cat news today, Alley Cat has been in a perky mood. This morning, whenever I got up, I found her on the computer chair. She tends to like that chair. And she'll get on the back of it too. And poor baby, it's like she has trouble balancing. But she loves climbing on that chair. And then Sophie, of course, had to do her morning plopping on me thing. I like to call her Big Plop because she's always plopping. And she did her little tenderizing thing. I always say she's massaging me. And her motor was just going 100 miles per hour. She purrs a lot. And now she's currently in her door watching outside. But I do have a funny story to tell you about Sophie. We used to have this other cat named Izzy, and she had a litter of kittens. And one day, Sophie starts trying to grab the kitten like how the mother cat grabs the kitten with their mouth. And Izzy went to do the same thing. And they're basically playing tug of war on the poor little kitten. And I thought for sure Izzy would get mad, but she didn't. And it's like Sophie started adopting the kittens. it was the cutest and sweetest thing, because Izzy would be with her kittens and Sophie would just lay with them, and it's like she thought she was the mama cat. I mean, she loved those kittens like they were her own. It was just so sweet. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, Izzy is actually in a picture from one of my previous videos in the opening intro. She's the cat that you see destroying a roll of toilet paper. She loves she loved destroying toilet paper. She loved her some toilet paper. So my temperature blanket video, more than likely that will be uploaded sometime Sunday. At least that's my goal. At the very latest, it would be Monday. And I am also thinking about doing a video to do with loom knitting, where I'll show you the shawls that I made whenever I was loom knitting, and also show you the looms that I have. I hope everyone is having a fabulous yarny day, and bye!